Good morning. I'm Brendan Keane here from the community here in Clonard, and I just want to welcome you here this morning. You'll notice I'm standing in front of the shrine here of the Mother of Perpetual Help, and that's a picture or an icon. I know that over the years you've got a great inspiration from just by looking at it and praying in front of it. I think you could get further inspiration from that icon this morning if you could remember and take seriously the three petitions that we make when we make that prayer to the Mother of Perpetual Help. I think these three petitions could be kind of signposts for living our life and would help us. The first one is this: we ask Mary that, like her, we will remember that we're called by God. Now, very often I think we can think that we're Christians by accident, or we can think indeed that we volunteered for it. No, the reality is that God has called us. He's called us, first of all, into life. Secondly, He's called us into the church in our baptism. And thirdly, God has given us all a very, very special vocation in the church and in our lives. And the more that we can have that sense of call, the more we'll be able to find our own identity. We're special to God. We're wanted by God. We get energy from that. We get a sense of dignity. We get a sense of gratitude. So having a sense of call is very important in life. The second thing that Mary can give us is the ability always to think of other people. We pray to her in that prayer, help us, like you, to be concerned for others. And we remember the time when she showed that concern by the way she went to Elizabeth with great sensitivity. So having a feeling or a sense or a desire to be concerned for others is a very important part of life. It's so easy, I find anyway, just to turn in on myself and in my own needs. And it's a special grace, I believe, to be able to turn out like Mary did and be concerned for others. What Mary can help us to do is to be in touch with the best side of ourselves. Because inside in ourselves, we are generous, we are loving, we're caring, and we need to remember that we're capable of great goodness and that we have great power to do good. And knowing that we can be like that, then to do it. We ask Mary, help us, like you, to be concerned for others. Another very important dimension of life. The third thing that Mary can teach us to do in this prayer, we pray for it, Mary can actually help us to realize that by its nature, life is tough. It's not easy. It's painful. There are painful times. There are painful decisions. Like Jesus and herself, they came to resurrection or to new life, but they had to go through a lot of pain before that. So we pray in this prayer, help us, like you, to accept the crosses and the trials of life. In other words, to accept the pain, to accept suffering, to see that it's part and parcel of life. And it's only by facing it, not running from it, but going right through it. It's only when we face it that we find new life in it, that we come, as it were, to the point of resurrection. So I invite you then today maybe to get this picture and look at it, or if you don't have it, just to imagine it, because you'll remember it, and to hear Mary, hear her saying to you as you look at this picture, hear her say, remember and put in your name, you have been called with great love by God, first of all. Secondly, here are saying to you, spend your life, try to be concerned for others, because it's when you do that, you reach real happiness. You are called by your very nature to care for others. And thirdly, to hear our saying to you, try to accept the crosses and the difficulties and the pains of life, even the ones you're going through right now. Try to accept them. Don't run for them. Take responsibility, believing that if you do that, a new life comes out of that pain and that suffering. Thank you very much for listening.